So my name is Russell Joel Brown. I'm a professional actor, singer, and dancer for Broadway shows, and I'm touring right now with Disney's The Lion King, the North American tour. So I'm here at the Saugatuck Middle School to do my project Inspire, which is an outreach program that I designed about 2.5 years ago to come into the schools in the cities where Lion King performs and share some of my expertise about, actually not even expertise, not always expertise, it's more about the life lessons that I've learned through my life in the theater. So sometimes that takes the form of a general kind of lecture demonstration for general population schools. But then other times it takes the form of a master class, say for a drama club or at a performing arts high school, or I've even talked to cheerleaders and flag girls and whatever, just kind of a master class to bring my expertise in the performing arts. So I'm really glad to be here today because I'd never heard of Saugatuck before 2009 when I came to work at Mason Street Warehouse. I was auditioned for the Full Monty in New York, and they were telling me, oh, it's this great place, it's a great way to spend your summer, and we put on first class shows. And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything else this summer, I'd be happy to come. And so I did the Full Monty there, and at Mason Street Warehouse they put the equity actors up in people's homes. And so I fell in love with my hosts, and they fell in love with me, and so I've been friends with them ever since. And so I get here about at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. And so I was here today because the Lion King is in Detroit, and so it was easy for me to pop over here and see my friends and do some schools as well. So got to do 2 schools in the area today, and I'll do 9 more schools in Detroit. So the Lion King opened in 1997, and I started auditioning for it in 1997, and even though I'm very, very good, I think so, and a lot of other people do too, but even though I'm very good, the competition is very fierce in New York for any show. But a show that is as popular as Lion King, it's incredible, really, the competition for the jobs. And so it wasn't until 2005 that I was hired for the show. And I was hired as a bass in the singing ensemble and Mufasa and Scar understudy. So I did that for 3.5 years. And then my tour ended. There was a time when there were 2 domestic tours. So there was basically a West Coast tour, East Coast tour. Ohio was the dividing line. But then when they decided to open Las Vegas, sit-down company in Las Vegas, they shut down the West Coast tour so that they could drive all of that business to Vegas. And so that left only 1 tour remaining, but I was out of a job. So I was fortunate enough to be invited to go to Taiwan with the show. And so I did 7 weeks at a 10,000 seat arena in Taipei. And that was in the summer of '08. And then the day I got home from Taiwan, I started rehearsal for Big River at the Goodspeed Opera House. So I wasn't doing Lion King at all for about 1.5 years. And then they called me for the only remaining tour, and I've been here on the North American tour since 2010. And so I will finish my tenure with the Lion King sometime before the end of this year and move home to Georgia to open a school. So it's very exciting, nerve-wracking because I've never opened a school before, but I believe that with the support of the community and with the resources and relationships that I have, that I'll be able to be successful. And I think a couple of things stand out for me. First of all, I was not familiar with Lake Michigan other than from the Chicago side, right? So I didn't even realize that there were all these communities that have such a robust arts life. And so I think that really stood out to me, that there could be a center like the Saugatuck Center for the Arts, but also that there could be a high-level theater company that was doing really first-class work, bringing in actors from New York, bringing in college students who are studying theater in the local or statewide colleges, And I mean, it's really unusual, quite honestly. There are some theaters that I know of in upstate New York who do that. There's some theaters in the Washington, D.C. area that do that, and in Connecticut, and some areas in the Northeast. But I don't know of a lot of theaters that are this far away from New York City who are bringing equity actors in that way. And so that really stood out to me. And also I have stayed in people's homes before, but I think that in my experience, or with my experience here, it's different in that, like, I'm not across from the master bedroom. I mean, I have my own space that's has its own entrance and its own bathroom. I mean, it's an incredible way to spend the summer, because you really do have to be on all the time if you're actually in someone else's space. I mean, there's no downtime. There's no way to get away from being the actor from New York, and it's exhausting, really. So while it's fun and it can be endearing and you can form lifelong relationships and all of that, I think that it's better to have the option instead of not having the option. So I really like that about this experience here. And the last thing that I would say is that they're really doing quality work. Sometimes as actors, we're going to take a job in a place like Saugatuck because we're not doing anything else, and it's for the insurance weeks. And it almost doesn't matter like what the quality of the work is. We're going to get 6 weeks of insurance, and that's going to help me get my insurance for the year, and so it doesn't matter. But to come to a place where not just the acting talent and not just the musical talent, but also the sets and the direction and the marketing of the show. I mean, it's really of a high caliber. And for a theater that size in a city this size, it's unusual. It just is. It just is. So I would work there again anytime. I would say that our kids need us. They need all of us. They need their parents, obviously, but they need the community, they need the churches, they need the community groups, they need the Boys and Girls Club, they need us. Because during the school day, there isn't enough time for them to get the things that they need in order to be successful and in order for them to be good citizens. And we want them to be good citizens. I mean, we don't want automatons. We don't want, oh, great, you're good at math and you're good at science and you're good at language arts. Okay, good, go out in the world. That's not going to be enough. And I think that as a society, we have abdicated our responsibility to children by leaving it to the schools. And the schools are inundated with their responsibilities, and we need to support them and help them so that they can take care of this next generation of citizens. If we don't do it, it's to our own peril. And I just encourage everybody, find a kid to inspire, find a kid to mentor, find a kid to give something that that they don't know. It'll make it a better world.
What else do you feel like you have to say today?
I've been so richly blessed in my life, in my whole life. Yes, Lion King, but I was born to the right parents at the right time in the right birth order. I was given educational opportunities and travel opportunities that, I don't know, as a young person growing up in the South in the 60s and 70s, for me to travel the world like this, the blessings have come in ways that I never would have expected. And right now, what I'm trying to do is just give back a little bit of what I've been given. And I think if everybody does that, then there won't be hunger. There won't be homelessness. There won't be any of the problems that we have. There's enough. of everything if we'll share.